The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everybody. This is Stephanie Cleaver from Don Stevens. Welcome to the first webinar in our marketing training series presented by Don Stevens and CI Web Group. They're the preferred digital marketing trainer and agency for Daikin, Amana, and Goodman. You're in the right place this morning if you're interested in improving and leveraging the internet to grow your HVAC business. This series is designed to help you meet your marketing goals in today's digital environment, including increasing efficiencies, increasing referrals, reducing advertising expenses. All good things. As you'll learn today, it starts with your website. So that's the focus of this first webinar. And so with that, I'll turn it over to Jennifer Bagley. She's the CEO of CI Web Group. Enjoy the webinar.
Stephanie, thank you so much for having me today. I really, really appreciate it. And for all of you that are joining live on the webinar or watching the recording later, you guys, I know your time is valuable. Things are heating up. You guys are getting calls, and it's definitely difficult to break away from the business to work on the business instead of in the business. So first off, on behalf of Don Stevens, Goodman, Amana, and Daikin, we appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedules to invest a little bit into your business, and we definitely will make it worth it today. So as Stephanie said, I'm Jennifer Bagley, CEO of CI Web Group, and this is really the introduction to what's going to be an amazing series of trainings and webinars that Don Stevens and our company have put together in order to really help you take your business to the next level. In 1,000 days, our kids are going to be either our employees, our employers, our clients, or our competitors. I say this because, I see a lot of transition happening within the HVAC world. This is definitely an industry where it's generational. There's progression from generation to generation to generation. We were just at the Goodman event in California, and we were sitting with one of our clients. We went out there, we were doing videos, we were doing photography and so forth. And this guy, Mike Page, he walked out and he brought this phone book from 2 years ago, and then he brought a phone book from a year ago, and then he brought a phone book from this year. And it was like one was 4 inches, one was 2 inches, one was a half an inch. And this is for Riverside, California. Then he came out and he had all of these kind of old school marketing things that he was showing us one after another, and it was really interesting to watch the progression. And he has had his son take over the business, and his son, of course, is pushing and pushing and pushing. We got to be on the web, we got to be blogging, we got to have RSS feeds, we've got to have social media. Dad's like, my head's going to explode. What are you talking about? And he's, he knows, and it was a really awesome conversation. But this is really, if you think about it, 1,000 days from now, there is going to be possibly an 18-year-old or a 20-year-old that is now running the business and is a competitor, an employee, a possible customer. And we've got to be able to change the way that we think, the way that we do business, in order to be able to communicate, position ourselves to be in front of those prospects, and to be able to compete with them as well. So, and really, you guys, the time is now. It's not even something that's coming or in the future. It's right now. This dealer education series presented by Don Stevens, these are our focal areas. A, we want you to increase leads and increase sales. Improve operational efficiencies. A lot of times when you're working with marketing agencies, they come from an advertising background, and they've evolved into marketing. We tend to take more of a holistic approach as far as your entire business, looking at areas where you can improve operational efficiencies in order to be able to spend more time performing high leveraged activities that are going to grow your business, build your business, generate new referrals from existing customers, build more referral partners, and so forth. We've got to be able to clean up those things that are occupying time and space. They're redundant or they're repetitive. That was redundant and repetitive, and they're inefficient. And we've got to turn those into minutes you can use in your business that are high leveraged. Also, we're going to work on increasing referrals and conversions, improving brand positioning, and leveraging your business or leveraging technology in order to build your business. Got to think about it. What was the highway to McDonald's? Think about the highway. You're driving down the freeway. What is the highway? Essentially, it's traffic. Where did McDonald's put the majority of their stores? They put it on the exit. They put it right next to the majority of people, right? You're going to see the big glowing arches right at the top of the freeway on an exit so the right person can get off. Essentially, that's what the internet is today. It's the information superhighway. And that is where people are. If you think about the last time you were to make a purchase or do research, anything, it doesn't matter if you were putting granite in your kitchen or doing a floor upgrade or getting your carpet cleaned or you were getting landscaping done. How did you find your next vendor? In the last 12 months, think about every purchase you've made. And did you make a new purchase because of yellow pages, billboards, magazines, newspapers, radio ads? I can go through the whole list. Is that how you were introduced to a new product or a new service and you decided to become a customer of theirs? Or did you find your new product or your new service via the internet? Going to Google, doing a search, or via a friend. You got a referral. Maybe the referral came through text messages, maybe it was over lunch, maybe it was via your social media network. And when you got a referral to a new product or service, did you go Google them first? And really that's where we've got to be. We've got to get with the program. Consumers are ahead of dealers, dealers are ahead of distributors, manufacturers are trying to help dealers meet the consumers where they are. And this is really where we're trying to close that gap. Buyers' perceptions, if you think about it, we have a matter of seconds to set an instantaneous perception of your business in their eyes. So when you go to Google, and I recommend, so I'm going to give you some key phrases. You guys, this is going to be recorded, so you can either take notes or you guys can check out the video afterwards. But when you go to Google, I want you to search for your primary key phrases. So for all of you, I'm going to give you the basics. It's going to be air conditioner repair, air conditioner service, air conditioner maintenance, air conditioner installation, air conditioner replacement, and the same variations for heating. Depending if on your location, it may be heaters, it may be boilers, it may be furnaces. You may have the majority of the year that's summer and 90% of your business is all air conditioning related. Depending on your location, you may have seasonal kind of downtimes, real seasons where you're working on air conditioning tune-up, heater tune-up, and so forth, indoor air quality, duct cleaning, duct resizing, and so forth. And then I want you to put your location. So pick any one of those. Go to Google, type in air conditioner repair, and for example, Riverside, California. And then I want you to glance at the websites that are in the top 3 listings for that particular search. What do they look like? If you're comparing those websites to your website, how do you feel? And it's really difficult, especially if there's any emotional attachment to who built the site. If you built it, or your spouse built it, or your son built it, or your nephew built it, there may be some kind of connection to how long you spent on the website. It's possible that you just bought a website less than 3 months ago. And so you're not actually looking at your site as let me look at it from a third-party view. Does it look professional? Do people know who we are, what we do, where we do it, how to reach us? And do we understand their issues, their problems, and do we have a resolution? Can we solve it? And we're gonna go through this. But when you look at it, make sure that you're looking for the consumer's perception versus getting stuck on things such as, I just got this put up less than a month ago, because that, trust me, that hurts my stomach too. But this is really where you want to be. Buyer's perceptions. This is essentially, your website is your biggest sales presentation. So it's your salesperson, right? It should work for you. Well, you work on the business. Well, you are taking care of getting new trucks and getting insurance and everything on it. Well, you're growing, whether you're hiring, well, you're working on the business. If you're personally doing installations yourself, if you're taking calls, if you're trying to figure out how to market and so forth, your website, if done right, can be your number one sales asset. And trust me, it is less expensive than hiring sales reps. And it doesn't talk back. How about that? All right, so we got to take care of our own home. A lot of times I'll see people and they are spending time on third-party marketing avenues. Maybe they're buying a Yodel website, or they're popping up yellow pages, and we'll talk about that later. But you're spending time or money and investing on other people's tools first, when in reality, your website is your number one asset, or should be your number one asset for your business. And that's your house. That improves the valuation of your business. If you own an HVAC company and you have a website that is page one, position one on Google for the top 60 key phrases in the top 10 counties in the top 30 cities in your area, bam, that is everything. That is, you literally, that improves the total valuation of your company. That makes your company a very, very powerful, very powerful, okay? If you go back to, the reason I say this, if you go back to, how do you personally look for services, products, new companies, things that you need done? How do you do it? A, via referral, B, via the internet. If you get a referral, you probably Google them first. So take care of your own home. This is number one priority. A custom dealer website, that's what it needs to be. It's got to be a custom site. There's some basic things that need to be included in there. It should be customized so that it matches your brand, your trucks, if your trucks are wrapped, that there's consistency across all of your marketing. It should be mobile responsive. So Google came out. If you're not familiar with mobile responsive, and I'm gonna jump straight out of the PowerPoint presentation in a few, and we're gonna go look at some sites. Mobile development or mobile responsive websites are more critical now than ever. You may have a website that's 10 years old, 5 years old, 3 years old, and your buddy made it for you, or the guy out of the networking group and so forth, and it's been performing. It does well for certain searches, not your name, but for certain searches, such as the key phrases I mentioned earlier. You may have been on the first page of Google, maybe in the top 10 somewhere. However, if you Google for a phrase called Mobilegeddon, like Armageddon, but Mobilegeddon, just recently in the last 30 days, Google has launched a release that is basically a kind of a compliance guideline or requirement that says that it favors websites that are responsive. The easiest way to tell if a website is responsive is just simply grab the corner of your site. Actually, here, this is what we'll do. We'll go pull, for example, grab the corner of your site or the side of it, and you're going to shrink your site down. And what you should notice is that the website should entirely reshape itself. So that this is the view that you would have on a cell phone. This is a 7-inch tablet. This is a 10-inch tablet, 12-inch, and there's a computer or a Mac or a PC and so forth. That's a responsive website. 80% of searches are now on some kind of mobile device, and I'll tell you what, this isn't new. Google waited and said, this is coming. We're going to start penalizing websites that are not responsive. It said it for month over month for, over a year now, and finally it said, boom, we're coming out and we're actually going to penalize, which is drop all of the sites that are not responsive. We're going to drop those back to the bottom of the rankings. And so agencies are seeing their client sites that are not responsive. Maybe they've been paying for marketing or SEO services year over year. They're seeing them literally fall from a page one ranking. And this is air conditioning. Oops, let's reverse. Repair, Riverside, California. So they may have had a customer like this. So this is the site, Sheldon's, that was page 1 of Google, that literally drops to page 5, 10, 50, and so forth. And really, there's only one game in Google, and that's the first page. Other than that, it doesn't really matter if you're on page 2 or page 3 or page 4. It's progress, but it's not new business. And so that's a big deal, is making sure that, if you could imagine, you're investing in SEO services on a website that's penalized by Google. It's kind of an oxymoron. It doesn't work. So we've got to get there. We've got to have a mobile responsive website. Okay. Websites, blogs, social media, lead forms, CRMs, online scheduling systems, a SARE calculator, online quote request forms. There's just basic things that are necessary when it comes to your guys' businesses. I'm going to jump out of here again. So I'm going to go through and just show you a few things just to kind of give you an idea. This is a site that's in development. As soon as somebody comes to the site, so I want you to look at these across the globe as far as the header area. What is consistent across the globe? We know who they are. We know where they are, serving East Central Florida, surrounding areas. We know they provide emergency service. These are click-to-call buttons, meaning if somebody clicks it from a mobile phone, from a tablet, from a wearable device, which right now, web companies are not thinking about responsive. We've been there, done that. We're thinking about how do we properly design and build websites so that they work on a watch. That's where our brain is, because that's the next transition. So little things like external protocols to be able to quickly place a call, whether it's from your computer, your watch, your phone, and so forth. They are same thing, who they are, where they service, how to reach them. Same thing, who they are, where they service, what they do, how to reach them. Now, other little things to take into consideration. A lot of times when we go to sites, we notice that first off, they're not designed. It's just a lot of text on the page, and people don't have time for that. They're visual creatures by nature. They like things that are pretty. They're attracted to things that are easy, quick. Give me something that's fast, pretty, and quick. And that's really where they want to be. The other thing is that consumers are not subject matter experts in your business. They don't know whether they need air conditioning repair versus air conditioning service versus air conditioning replacement. They have no idea. Google, now that they may Google that, but when they get there, the reality is they're stuck when they get to the site because they don't know where to go. So we've pulled together many consumer focus groups to ask them, what really do they want to see? What is their mindset when they're going to an HVAC site? And this is where it is. They're experiencing an issue. The issue is either going to be, my rooms are too hot or too cold. I have uneven temperatures throughout the house. My electric bills are crazy high. I've got dust, I have mold, I have condensation on my windows. My home is just not comfortable. We've got to think like a consumer does. We've got to be able to connect with them and connect with them as quickly as possible based on their issue. Then we can provide a solution. But we've got to be able to say, no worries. We'll come in, we'll research everything, we'll find out what the problem is, and our first goal is to repair it. We'll do everything. That's our mindset. It's the first thing we want to do is repair it. We're not here to just simply sell you a system. We're not here to sell you the biggest system in our catalog, right? We are actually here to analyze the problem, figure out what it is, and this is our methodology. And that's really what you want to set in motion and in a consumer's brain when they're on your website, all the way through the sales process. Now, other things. When they're at work, and that's Monday through Friday, they go to work, they're at their job, and they're trying to kind of sneak on lunch or sneak and try and get time to be able to contact you guys because they got to handle their own personal business. You know how hard it is to take care of your personal business and your professional business at the same time, right? It's always a struggle trying to fit in time to get your personal things taken care of. Well, to them, setting up time for a free estimate or a service or a consultation and so forth is that's their personal business, and so they don't always have time for it. So one thing that has really came out of our consumer groups is they want an estimate builder. They want an online estimate builder. They want to feel like they can go to your website and they can click on a link and they can either request an estimate with just basic information, or that they can actually provide you with detailed information that's necessary for you to be able to give them a quote. So things you want to consider, obviously, or things that a consumer would be willing to give you information on is the number of floors, the number of bedrooms, the year the house was built, what is the estimate needed for, what kind of heating or air conditioning equipment do they have. What's most important to them? Is it sound? Do they want it to be quiet? Is it high efficiency? They want to save on their electrical costs. How fast it cools the home, how fast it heats the home, how it improves quality, and so forth. What's the square footage of the home? So these are kind of the basic things that a consumer actually enjoys being able to provide you with more information so they can reduce the amount of time they have to spend on the phone or have to spend in a consultation on the home, and so forth. Now, I'm going to pause for just a minute. I see there's more people jumping on. If you guys have questions in the control panel on the webinar, feel free to start dropping those questions in as we continue to roll through the presentation, and we'll make sure we save time at the end to be able to address those as well. And the control panel should be on the right-hand side of your screen. So, other basics in a website. This right here is a page. So you'll notice on this one, we have Sheldon's. We've got schedule service, request an estimate, apply for financing. We have social media sharing links. There's a blog. There's the ability to follow them, Sheldon's, on social media links. There's the ability to share. So let's say my mom needed to get a quote to have her AC fixed. I could literally just tap this button and I could share this and say, at mom, I should say, hey, check out this site. They'll be able to take care of you, and so forth. Other things. So air care. We're going to have one of the webinars we have planned with Don Stevens is all about call to actions. And really, the way the website is designed is going to impact how well your site performs from a conversion standpoint. People are attracted to design, buttons, simplicity, show me what I need right now. So if it's air conditioning versus heating versus ductless versus indoor air quality, if I'm an existing customer, preferred member, commercial business, residential homeowner, and so forth, are there specials and rebates? If there are specials and rebates, how much can I save? How can I get one? And so forth. So all of these kind of things we really need to consider as a visual element that needs to be very, very nicely represented on your website. So let's head back here. Websites first and foremost. As Stephanie said, this is where we're starting because this is really where it all begins, and it's yours. So we really want to start here. Your website should also include a blog. This is the deal. Your site and your blog should be one of the same. Sitting on a content management system, WordPress is the most powerful content management system there is, as long as you're not using a $35 template made by somebody in Vladimir or in wherever, in another country that they're selling 3,000 of the same things. They've had that template was designed 10 years ago or 3 years ago or 5 years ago. So you want a fresh install of WordPress and a custom design specifically built for you. Now, the life cycle of these things right now, the way technology is changing, you really have about 18 to 24 months of life cycle on any given website at the present time. That time is changing. The more changes that happen in overall technology, the shorter that life cycle becomes. So you want to get on something that has like a maintenance plan where you buy a website today, you have a small monthly investment, and you get a new website every 18 months. Just get on that bandwagon. Otherwise, you're going to wind up, over time really having to budget for something that could be just a small investment, and you always know you're in the best technology. Okay, what to avoid? Don't start here. You guys, Yelp, Yodel. With Yelp, or excuse me, with Yodel, this one actually really scares me. And I know you guys go to conferences and you go to the manufacturer meetings and dealer meetings and so forth, and it spreads like wildfire in there because everybody's like, well, what do I do? How do I build my business? What do I do? And somebody's like, oh, well, they just got a call from this really awesome sales guy at Yodel. Problem is, they're going to give you a website that's not branded or designed for you outside of possibly a logo. And they're going to put a phone number on it that you don't own. Google is forever. It's unforgiving, right? It's this big online cached drawer of anything you've ever thought, anything you've ever done, anything you've ever said is on Google, which means that your name, your company name, is going to be tied with a phone number that, if you choose no longer to do business with them, is going to be reissued to somebody else. So you have to think about that. That's a big deal. Okay, pay-per-click. Okay, this one we just have to really get down to. Think about when you go to Google, you type in a search phrase, do you ever click on the ads? And no, you guys, I'm not talking about those of you that have clicked on your competitor's ad because you know it cost them $4 a pop. Not talking about that. I'm talking about when you're shopping for something, when you're trying to find something, do you click on ads? And I'm a speaker. I'm a national keynote speaker, so I ask audiences all the time, how many of you click on ads? It's always 1% of the room. They're back there giggling. I will bring back the mic, and I'm like, all right, what'd you buy? And they're like, nothing. What'd you click on? They're like, my competitor, $4 a pop. So I already know the game. Okay. Yellow Pages. I think my 16-year-old doesn't even know what the Yellow Pages is. Like, it doesn't register, right? He's like, it's like this progressional thing. He'll say, well, Yahoo's for old people, Hotmail and Yellow Pages are for dead people. He goes through this thing, right? They don't even think that way. Yes, you can use it for a booster seat. Yes, you can use it for a doorstop. And there is a very small percentage of communities centered right in the middle of the United States that possibly are surrounded by cornfields where Yellow Pages get used. They've got bad internet access, and I'm not saying anything negative about the bottom middle, but I am just saying that there's very rare circumstances. So if you are in an area and you believe that your consumers are still using the Yellow Pages to find their service providers, absolutely stay there. The only thing we would recommend is design your listing so that you have a very specific call to action and a way to measure the results. You have either a promo code or a landing page or a QR code or something that's going to take them somewhere where you know only that, i.e. phone number or form, web form or landing page or promotional code is attached to that particular ad. And really I'm not trying to be hard on the Yellow Pages. I just want you to focus on your website, which you own first. That's your baby. Traditional advertising, templates, triple Fs. I call them triple Fs. Don't be offended, but friends, family, and fools. So this is really, you want to be careful. These are risky, temporary, gambling, and one and done, right? You're spending money, you stop spending money, and boom, you have nothing out of it. So where's your website? It's an asset, right? Your website. Here are the things that are assets. These are the items that have permanent, compounding, leveraged results in your business. Meaning if I spend $1 today, that dollar is still working for me a year from now. It's probably working even harder for me. So think about this. Your website, if you write a piece of content, if you answer the phone and you answer the same question over and over and over, when customers are calling in and they're saying, what's the difference or what's better about ductless versus traditional air conditioning units? How would I use a ductless system? I have a server room. Does that make sense? Or any question that you find yourself, how much does it cost to get an air conditioner installed? What is SARE? What's the standards for high efficiency in our city? and so forth. Whatever questions you find yourself answering over and over and over again, one and done means you pick up the phone, they ask you the question, you give them the answer, you're done. Now here's the reverse. Let's say this time, instead of, you take that call, you answer the question, then you stop right then and you say, you know what, I'm going to write a permanent asset. I'm going to write the question down I get asked every single day. I'm going to write the content down, which is the answer, and I'm going to post that on my website. Then I'm going to share it with my social media sites. Then I'm going to send it to my marketing team and let them schedule it so that it comes out every 4 months or seasonally, depending on what it is. And that 30 minutes or 1 hour or 10 minutes, depending on how fast of a writer you are, or if you outsource it, you send it to your writing team, that 1 hour literally is going to work for you year over year over year. The longer that article or that page is on the internet, the more powerful it becomes, the further up it's going to crawl in the search rankings, and the more business it's going to make you. The more business it's going to create for you. Same thing, video. What happens when you put a video up on YouTube? The longer that video is there, the more business or the more views that it generates, the more potential business that you have as well. Same thing with reviews. So this is really all about changing our thinking. We've got to change our thinking in order to change our results. There's no way to do the same thing and get the same results. And everything we're going to work for is going to be leveraged results. With that, you guys, I've got like 5,000 slides on here. So let me go through one area, and it'll give you kind of an idea of the overview that we're going to go throughout all of these different webinar series that we're working with. So this is called a 12-step roadmap to achieve accelerated results. We're going to focus on all of these areas, and we're going to drill into different things that are going to help you grow your business in these areas. We're going to talk strategy and mindset, content, websites, branding, video, mobile, social, SEO, email, local, CRMs or contact relationship management, online scheduling systems, pay-per-click. We're going to go through all of today's kind of digital marketing techniques and really help you figure out how to prioritize them, do the right things in the right order at the right time. So this is my dad on the left-hand side. This is my son on the right-hand side. As you go through this process, so these guys, they're on a roller coaster. We were in Vegas, I think, on this trip, and both of them are scared out of their mind. However, one chose to smile for the cameras on the left, my dad, and the other one did not. That's quite apparent. So we've got a couple of ways to approach this. We can not want to go there. We can drag our feet. We can be kicking and I don't want to do this. Gosh, this transition. Or we can be really challenging it. Why is social media important? Why do I need to care about mobile searches? Or we can just put a smile on our face, know the world is changing around us, and jump on board. And it's really, having a guide or a strategy team and a coach is definitely going to help you. There are some really cool things that we've put together for you guys. And on behalf of Goodman, Amana, and Dyken, as well as Don Stevens, these are all the things you guys get to take advantage of for absolutely nothing. So first off, if you've attended the webinar, either live or you're watching it on the recording, you guys are going to get a free listing on CI HVAC, which is our directory listing. You'll get to go through a presentation that talks about how important directory listings are and reviews monitoring. But first off, start off with this one. Head over to CI HVAC and you can sign up for a free listing there. Also, you can sign up to get a free website analysis. I'm going to show you how. We will take your website, we'll process it through our website analyzer, and it's going to come back and give us all the details from a technical standpoint. Now, it a website analyzer, it's not going to be able to tell us if it's going to be effective from a conversion standpoint, because it can't look at the presentation layer or the design of the site. That would actually require us to jump on the phone and have a strategy session, which that's also included. So one, you'll have a technical review of your site, absolutely complimentary. Next, we will go through and evaluate your website and find out how are you guys currently positioned on all the local business listings. That's another webinar as well. Local business, let's find this earlier. Local business listings, Yelp, Yahoo, City Search, Yellow Pages, Bing, Google. All of these are local business directories, and they play a role in your overall marketing. You don't have to go subscribe with them individually. It's something that you can subscribe to and have all of them managed. All 60 of the biggest local business listings managed from one place for $100 a month, instead of going and spending $2,500 here, $300 here, $400 there, and so forth. So if you're getting approached by sales representatives to sign up for all these local listings, just pause. We will go pull the report. We'll figure out how you guys are currently positioned to make sure. Do you have the right phone numbers? Do you have the right address? Does it show your business is closed? Do you have a listing? It's got your name, it's got your address, it has your website, but the phone number is your competitors. They so kindly set up a local listing report for you. So I know it's hard to sit through a sales presentation and not be excited by the opportunities that present themselves, but just pause, and let a third party. We can help you evaluate that. Our interest is in making sure that your best interests are taken there first and foremost. So, and lastly, you guys can sign up for a free strategy session with myself personally, where I'll get on the phone with you. We'll analyze your website. We'll look at where you're spending your dollars from a marketing standpoint. I am a business owner. I have built and sold businesses for the last 11 years. We've grown companies from 3-person companies in executive suites to 300-person companies that own floors of buildings. And my background previously, I was vice president of global logistics and supply chain strategy for some major retailers around the globe. And so it's not a sales presentation. It's not going to be a sales pitch. Really, this is about having a conversation that's based on growth strategies. So if you guys are interested in talking about how to grow and how to leverage technology to do that, you can go directly to ciwebgroup.com. And I'm going to take you there so you can see this is the easiest thing you could imagine. You can actually schedule your consultation with myself right online. And this is one of the tools we'll talk about, of course, when we're looking at how you guys operate. But right in the right-hand corner over here, you can say book an appointment, or the little pop-up comes up. The very first link that pops up right here, so it's ciwebgroup.com. And then the very first link here that pops up says a free strategy and consultation with Jennifer Bagley. And then it's going to give you my availability. You can choose up to 3 times that work for you. And it's that easy. The system will confirm the appointment. We'll jump on a webinar with you just like this. And we'll be able to see each other's screens and go from there. With that, let's see here. I will throw it back over to Miss Stephanie. Do you have anything you would like to wrap up with?
Yeah, do we have any questions at all? Do you see any questions?
Let's see here.
From the group?
So one of the questions that came in, somebody had asked, how much does it cost to get a basic custom website? So the answer to that basically is you can start off. We have had very simple but professionally designed sites that have started at around the $2,000 mark. And so that's kind of an entry level for a custom site right out of the gate. And it depends on how aggressive you want to be. Let's see here. Another question was, can you change my existing website, or do I need to start from scratch? Great question. I have to see it first. So most of the time, you guys, it's going to cost less to to just build your website right out of the gate properly than it's going to try to go figure out somebody else's template or spaghetti code and stuff like that. Somebody else asked how long the consultation was going to take, and that's about an hour. So, but totally up to you guys. It's scheduled for 50 minutes online. And do they need to have anything prepared to before that? Absolutely not. Oh, and somebody said, how do I get the free reports? Okay, so my bad. I just like to talk, so I just wanted to schedule time to talk with you. Free reports, very simple. You can just fill this form out right here, and that'll get you the free business listing. You can also, if you're interested in one or the other, right here you have free local report and free website grader. So if you want one or the other, you can fill out either one of those forms, and it's going to provide you with that information. Easy enough. I think that's it, Ms. Steph.
I actually have a specific question I'd like to throw out there. I found that estimate survey very interesting because I was told that consumers don't like to fill out tons of information on a form, like shorter forms are better. And that kind of flies in the face of that. And I'm just wondering if that dealer or other dealers, if you can speak to the success of that. Do they get a lot of requests for estimate like that with all that, square footage of the home and all that filled in?
So this is the best way to think about marketing. Do it all. So it is, you're 100% right. There are specific people. These are going to be your A-type personalities versus your analytical personalities. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with the DISC assessment, but you have drivers, very high high D's. They are decision makers, often executives. All they want fast, they want quick, they don't want any of the garbage, right? You have analytical people who are all about the details. You have supporters, and supporters are really about making sure everybody else is taken care of. And you have promoters. These are the last one on the plane. As soon as they walk in the plane, they're like, woohoo, I'm here, now we can leave, right? There's totally different kinds of personalities. They all like something different. So when you have a form like that on your site, you also have one that is schedule service today, first, last, email, phone, that's it. So you want to do it all. I'm one of the people that I'd rather take the time to give you the information that you need, because it costs me more time to stay on the phone with you or have a 1-hour consultation in my home than it does for me to give you the information you need on a web form one time, not have to be on the phone, because I don't have time for that. So do both. Do both. Very, very valid point. Everything in marketing is perception, number one. And it is also personalities are different, number two. And it's also the mindset of the consumer changes as they go through the process. So if you think about it, the very first step of a consumer's mindset is research, knowledge, feeling like they get educated. They don't even know what to ask or how much it costs. I mean, this is an uncomfortable situation. It's kind of the same feeling that your dealers are going to have when they call me, right? Or when they're talking to a sales rep from a web company. I don't know how do you find out even what questions to ask? How do I know you're good? I mean, if it wasn't for an endorsement and massive evaluation from Goodman, Amana, and Daikin and Don Stevens, what else do they have to go on? And being that they're not a technical expert, consumers have the same kind of challenge here. So you catch them in the research mode versus the buyer's mode, and you can build trust and so forth. And the answer is yes, yes, and yes. We leave it up to the consumer to decide. It's kind of like when somebody says, why would I use Twitter or Facebook, or I don't like Twitter. Well, the worst thing we can do in our business is make our marketing decisions based on our own personal preferences, because we're not trying to sell to ourselves. If your consumers love Twitter, give them Twitter. If they love Facebook, give them Facebook. If they'd rather watch a video than read a big page of text, let them watch the video. Give them both. So that would be my answer to that.
Yeah, totally makes sense. Well, and so my final comment is just to say, you're going to be able to watch this archived training and all the future ones at the same place that you registered for this webinar, www.ciwebgroup.com/Don Stevens. And we will email you as the next webinars come out, so watch for those. And I encourage you to take advantage of the free tools. There's really no obligation. And I'll just say that one of the things that convinced me to move forward with this webinar series was just talking one-on-one with Jennifer and asking her specifically about budgeting, because and asking her to literally show me what people are getting or what she can give for a certain budget amount. So no matter what your budget is or what area of your web marketing that you're looking at improving upon, she's a good resource just to get answers, no obligation. So we'll leave it at that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, you guys, thank you so much for attending the webinar today. We will have the recording done shortly. We'll send it out to everybody, and we look forward to seeing you on the next webinar. Make sure and sign up for your free report and strategy session as soon as possible. It'll definitely be worth the hour to invest a little bit of time in your business and having some awareness as far as where you're at and what needs to happen next, and we'll go from there. Stephanie, thanks again. We appreciate everyone at Don Stevens for having us.
Thank you.